overwhelmingly, it's all about modeling for me. In my silo of real estate, and it's probably I'm slightly more pigeonholed into the more financial world of real estate. I would accept that. I work a bit more with funds and PE shops than bricks and mortar kind of surveying firms, although even the ones I work with that are more proudly bricks and mortar, they are obsessed with modeling. So if I'm being ultra honest here, for me, the questions I get in vetting are modeling skills. Like, what is it? Argus? Is it Excel? This horrendous phrase that always gets brought up: can they model from scratch? And to explain what that means, can I give them a modeling test with where the first tab is blank, and can they build it out from there without having like a template to work with? It's all about that. And I think a CV that answers and gives comfort on the modeling capability of a candidate is really important, which isn't to say a CV needs to promise the world. It just helps when a CV is nice and clear and does justice to someone. So let's quickly go through this then. So I can do this slide faster, but education, yeah, you definitely want to mention any accreditations you have. That can be the RICS, it can be the CFA, and then if it's CFA, what candidacy level are you at? It could be like the IMC or other courses you've got. My advice is in your name section, it's better to include your qualification there after your name and then do it again in the key skills section. Then wait until the end of the CV and only mention then that you're a chartered surveyor. I think that's such a shame because I think it's actually very helpful for that to be nice and obvious from the start. Same if you're like a CFA level 2 candidate, like make it nice and clear at the start with this. It's really helpful. And then on bullet point 2, I've already mentioned earlier how specific modules are really helpful to add. And in keeping with what I've said throughout, particularly when a module is quite Excel or modeling focused, it's really good to mention it in that case. But especially obviously if you've got like a 70% in it plus, like you then want to make sure that the client knows this. Okay. Technical skills I've shown about. How can you showcase these in your work experiences? Well, it's by being quite detailed in that work experience section. You need to be clear if you did a deal that you used, that Excel was your go-to software that you used, or Argus was, or Adobe or whatever, like if you're doing something that's more IR focused or investor presentations. So the answer to that is just make sure that you actually are specific in the work experience. You should be name dropping. Like I said, a good work experience should be like facts, figures, capitalized softwares. Like it should just be nice and quantitative and clear. So that's how you do that. And then on personal skills, okay, maybe this is where I get the most controversial of the entire webinar. But I would not waste precious space on saying that you are empathetic or compassionate or gregarious, in my opinion. I think that this is one of the ways candidates can really run into challenges of getting a CV nice and impactful and decisive and concise, because you're labeling what I would call basic human decency as a skill, when actually I think a good CV will get you into the room and then you can show all of your positive qualities face to face. So even though it's tempting to say things like team player, I have never in 10 years seen a client say, I was torn, and then I read they were a team player. You know, it just doesn't seem to be the way they think. They can read you're a team player with a nice CV that talks about working in a team of 5, collaborating across deals and producing advanced Excel to advise colleagues to help form investment decisions. Like that's how you say you're a team player. You know, I don't think everyone feels the way I do about this, but I often, when I see a CV running into multiple pages and I see a long section on this, I encourage a lot more brevity. But I would love to hear anyone that has maybe a different POV or a perspective.